Hey YouTube, this is the Swagman, and this is going to be my first review on YouTube, and it's on an old Mega Drive game that I first owned back in 1993 when I was 8 years old, and that game is Landstalker: The Treasures of King Noel. This game is still my favorite on the Mega Drive. Is I still play it from time to time. I absolutely love it. Um, what the game? It's an action RPG created by a group called Climax Entertainment, and they're actually they're known for this game because it still is considered their best to date. What the game is about? It's about this guy here called Nigel, and he's a treasure hunter. And basically, at the start of the game, he miraculously goes through all these obstacles to retrieve this idol. Then he goes to find a buyer for the idol, and he runs into this fairy called Friday, who's trying to escape these thugs. Because she knows the secret to the treasures of King Noel, which is the greatest in all the land. So basically, Nigel cuts a deal with her that Nigel will look out for her, and instead she'll go and take him to this island where the treasure's being kept. What was really good about this game, and it was like way ahead of its time, is it used an isometric system where it wasn't top down or a side scroller, 2D side scroller, it was diagonal. So it was one of the first games that used an isometric view, and it looked really good at the time. It was the original Japanese version was made in 1992, and it was very groundbreaking. And the game looks fantastic on the Mega Drive. It's one of the best graphical games on the Mega Drive. Music-wise, the soundtrack was done by Motoaki Takanouchi, which this was one of the first games he made. Then he went on to do the music for the Shining Force games, from Shining Force 2, and then right up until Shining Wisdom, and they're fantastic soundtracks. If you want to hear some really good music, type in either Landstalker or Shining Force 2, Shining Force CD, or Shining Wisdom, and that's his soundtracks, and they're really good. There's the overall theme is very catchy, and there's two. The first one's very epic, and the second one's very, very, very catchy. So I still hum them to these days. It's really good. Another track that's really good in this game, it's called A Ballad for Princess Laura, and it's the closest thing that they got to generating a piano sound on the Mega Drive, and it can be a bit of a tearjerker. Just a warning for you, but it's really, really good music. There's just so much to like about the game. It's a full-on action RPG where it is very fluid. A lot of jumping's required. Like, that's the main puzzle part of the game, is you have to time your jumps right, otherwise you're in big trouble. There's a lot of pits, there's a lot of spike traps here and there, but I played as a very young age. I got very frustrated, but I played later on. I think my jumping skills improved because of this game, so yeah, you've been warned. How it works, how the health system works, it works a bit like games like Wonder Boy and Zelda. You've got hearts, or you've got diamonds, I think. I can't remember. I think it's diamonds or something like that. No, I think it's hearts. Yeah, it's hearts. Basically, what happens is if you got your maximum heart system, and you get life vessels, which max out your heart meter and everything. But this game sort of has a life system where you've got these herbs called ekek. And what happens is that when you die, if you've got an ekek, Friday comes out of your bag, picks it up, and puts it in your mouth, and that restores your bar halfway. So essentially, the only way you can die in this game is to lose all your health and have no ekek. But once you start getting good money, you can buy all the ekeks you want and pretty much sustain. But it gets hard along the game, so you need to really stock up. There's so many memorable moments in this game. Like, one of the early side quests that you do is you have to go to this old witch's hut, and when you confront her, she turns you into a dog. So you have to go through like her basement trying to find the spell that will turn you back. and I always love that bit. It's a nice little side quest. But later in the game, when you've done a few dungeons, you get to Makeda, which is the main hub of the island, the biggest city in the island. And what happens is part of the story, you need to find this knight called Arthur. Now, what's really funny about this bit is in the North American and European versions, the place you track him down to is a place called the Ballet Studio. And as a kid, I thought, oh, Ballet Studio, oh, whatever. What I found out later on, when I got on the internet, that the Ballet Studio in Japanese, it was actually a brothel. So they had to tone it down for the West, and I was blown away when I heard that. So I just couldn't believe it. But that makes sense, because if you go in there, there's a lot of girls who are very reluctant to talk to you because they think you're a bit too young. But it made sense when I found out about that. Another funny bit, which comes in just a couple of moments later, is you get into the palace, and one of the doors is guarded by a maid, and my brother and I tried for ages to get past it. Like, there'd be a certain time in the game she'd move away, and like every time we go there, she's always been there. And what happens was, I found out later on that for the North American European version for the game, they programmed her in there to stop people getting through there. And what I found out later on is behind the door is a bath, and the main thug, her name is Kyla, is taking a bath. She's naked, she's taking a bath, and she gives you a set of options. Is one, do you want to get in the bath with me? If you say yes, Friday comes out of the bag and beats the living crap out of you. It is the funniest thing you'll ever see. If you go and basically she beats the crap out into you unconscious, and you wake up in your bedroom. I couldn't stop laughing for days when I saw that. The other thing is, if you say no, Kyla takes offense to that, and her two goons come and beat the crap out of you. So pretty much if you go through that door, it's just no win-win situation. It's just funny, it really is. I don't want to spoil too much of the game, because from here on out, there's just so many great things about the game that I'd want you to explore for yourself. So the best way to get this game, the only way to get this game nowadays, is, besides paying a good old 30 to 50 bucks. I thought it'd be much more expensive, but you can get this relatively cheap. Basically, if you've got a Wii, you can spend 800 points and you can download it. I highly recommend you do. It's one of the best 800 points you'll ever spend in your life. Just a little quick little thing. This was actually scheduled to be remade on the PSP, but one thing or another, it got canned, and I saw the screenshots and it looked amazing. I'm really sad that Sega decided not to follow through with it. Hopefully they will back into that. I don't see it likely happening, but yeah. Okay, I'm nearly about time up, so thank you for watching, and tune in next time.